It's a glorious morning. It's gonna be a beautiful day, warm and still and blue skies. Day for a barbecue. And with a barbecue, there's nothing better than spicy coated potato wedges. Let's make some. Hello and welcome to English Country Life. Welcome to the garden on a beautiful day. I'm playing hooky and Fiona is dancing in the chicken pen over there to make me laugh. Today we're going to cover spicy potato wedges, and we're going to do it with a lovely crispy coating that really gives a zing and a flavour to that, even better than anything you can buy in a restaurant. It's all good local food. Potatoes grew the other side of this bed. A lot of the herbs and spices we've grown and made ourselves, and we're even going to use rapeseed oil because that's local to England rather than using olive oil, which isn't very good at high temperatures anyway. So there's a few steps to this. Let's harvest the potatoes, we'll look at how to make the coating, and we'll look at how to put the whole lot together. Great thing at this time of year, beautifully fresh potatoes, about 3 steps away. Here we go. That's the size we want. That's what we're going to use for our potato wedges. The compost, of course, goes back on one of the raised beds. Here's a quick tip. If you can get hold of one of these are old veg crates, or something similar, piece of chicken wire, soil sieve, anything like that, something with a lot of holes in it. What you can do is put your potatoes inside, put your hose on jet and squirt the worst of the mud off. Doesn't matter if you're using shop bought potatoes, if you haven't got a garden hose, whatever, just pop your spuds in the sink, give them a light rub over with a soft brush, just to make sure all the dirt's off but leaving all the skin in place. Right, before we start, I'm going to be talking about our onion powder, our tomato powder, our chilli powder. I don't expect that everybody else produces their own onion powder. Onion powder, tomato powder, chilli powders, etc. all available on Amazon at a very reasonable price. So they're really accessible, only a matter of a few pounds, 250 grams. And they're very concentrated flavours. Try this. Put a couple of 3 tablespoons of onion powder and some caramelised onions in your favourite loaf recipe and make into onion bread. Absolutely wonderful. When you have tomato powder, use some of it to thicken your bolognese or marinara sauce or your chilli. Because instead of using something like sort of cornstarch to thicken sauces, if you use one of these vegetable powders, it adds flavour and depth as well as thickness. They're wonderfully versatile ingredients. They last for years in a cool cupboard in an airtight jar. So they're a great thing to buy and they're really accessible. Let's get going. Now, the basis of this coating is what we in England we call corn flour. I believe the Americans call it cornstarch. It's basically a neutral carrier. When you want this crispy coating, if you make it all spice, all chili powder, it's just overwhelmingly strong. So what we need is something that creates that crispy coating, allows the spices and the herbs and the tastes to stick to the potatoes, but also is neutral enough that you can have a nice thick crunchy coating. So, start off with half a cup of corn flour. Once you've got your half cup of corn flour, the next major ingredient is tomato powder, and that's going to give a lovely colour and the base of a flavour. So 2 good tablespoons of tomato powder. And to that we're going to add 2 big tablespoons of onion powder. So the tomato and onion will give us a lovely sort of sauce base for the flavour. The next thing, I want to make it more of a barbecue taste, and I think the key for me of a good barbecue is paprika. I'm going to use a sweet paprika. If you prefer smoked, no problem at all. 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika. Sounds a lot, but it's going to go on as a coating over a large amount of potatoes. And on top of that, this is an Apache chili powder, so fairly fierce chilies. Adjust the amount of chili to your personal taste. Given that Fiona can basically eat lava, we will put 2 large teaspoons of Apache chili powder in. The final 2 ingredients I'd like to add: cayenne pepper. Slightly different flavour I find than chili powder, it's a different thing, and just half, 2/3 of a teaspoon of that. And then I think for a good barbecue we need a bit of sweetness. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of dark muscovado sugar. It is a little bit sticky, and honestly it's not ideal for blending into a powder. But the muscovado's got that dark, almost rum taste, richness. And I'm willing to put up with the fact it's a little bit sticky to get the flavour combination right. Now I can't stress this part too much. As you can see, what we have is a pile of powders, and we really need to spend some time with a spoon blending everything together. And we're looking to get a completely even colour. That's our coating mixture done, and it's stable for years if you put it in an airtight jar. I love this recipe because what I can do is make up a large batch, pop it into a kilner jar, seal it up, label it, and then when I'm tired, when I've been out all day, particularly in the winter, when the Essie is always hot, the wood-fired oven always hot, I can come in an hour before I finish work, knock up some very quick potato wedges, coat them in this coating, go back out, do another 3/4 of an hour, come in, there's tea ready. It's lovely and almost no effort. For any people who are a bit new to cooking, let me show you my technique for cutting wedges. Take a decent sized spud, take a sharp knife and put your hand over the blade of the knife to hold the sides of the potato, and cut it in half lengthwise. Then the flat surfaces sit on your board and they won't roll around. Again, hand over the knife, and what I'm going to do is make 2 cuts. One that side, one that side, to cut the half potato into thirds. And you get 3 very neat wedges like that, and at no point can the spud slip and you cut your fingers off. So having cut up our wedges, take the rapeseed oil and drizzle it over them. What we need to do is make sure that the wedges are coated all over lightly in oil, because it's the oil on the wedges that makes the coating stick. To get a really nice even coating, I like to shake the coating on with a sieve rather than to sort of dump it on with a spoon. I find you get a much better finish, and every wedge gets its own share rather than some getting a lot and some getting a little. Once you've coated your wedges to your satisfaction, they go into a medium oven, about gas mark 6, for 45 minutes to an hour. Now some people will tell you to parboil wedges first for 10 minutes, but if your potatoes are fresh like these are, parboiling for 10 minutes will have them falling apart. And we want a firm wedge with that sort of crispy outside and soft yielding inside. So fresh potatoes, not parboiled, 45 minutes to an hour in a medium oven. The quantities I've given in this recipe are enough for several servings of these potato wedges. There's no point doing all the blending and mixing and measuring and then only doing enough for one meal. So put what's left in an airtight jar and keep it for that day you want something quick and delicious. There we have it. Spicy barbecue potato wedges, homemade sweet chilli sauce and mayonnaise. If you've enjoyed this recipe, can you spare 5 seconds, give us a thumbs up down below. And if you'd like to see all our other videos, hit subscribe and the bell next to it and you'll hear every time we upload them. Or whatever you do. Come back and see us soon. Take care.